Peace, 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 Soul Tribe. Yours truly, Ivory Soul's Journey. Terror. What's going on, Soul Tribe? Hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Let's see what messages we have here. Give y'all a couple minutes to load in here for those that might be available. Let's see what we got here for y'all. Soul Tribe. Nrgycheck. Nrgycheck. Next 5 months. What's going on, Shamika? Blessings, greetings to you as well. And let's see what we got going on here. Now, this video is for information, confirmation, and clarification only. So take what resonates and ignore the rest. Always follow your divine intuition, folks, especially when you're making life-changing decisions. If you're interested in a personal energy reading or spiritual counseling advice, my email is in the description box of the video. Want to support the channel? Cashapp, PayPal information is also in the description box of this video. What's up, y'all? Everybody doing good? Y'all doing good, Shamika? Everybody doing good? All right. If y'all say so, I'm just going to go by what y'all say. What's up, Deborah, Natasha? Everybody doing good? Don't forget, y'all, hit that like button as you enter into the live stream. I want to talk about things pertaining to, if you will, hey, sure, Ann, things pertaining to the near future, if you will. And what I mean by the near future, from a astrology standpoint, time is different. It's not calculated like we calculate time on a clock system. Let me slide this over a little bit. It's a different type of nautical, if you will, astrological time. So you have to give or take. That's why sometimes when people make predictions, they'll say give or take, astrological prediction. They'll say give or take a few days, some cases a few weeks. It depends on if it's an outer planet, planets that are far away, that when they are in retrograde, these faraway planets, you know, like your Pluto, your Neptune, and your Chiron, and so on and so forth. Anything with inside of Saturn, right, is normally your regular, I guess you could say, hummingbug planets. You know, your Venus, your Moon, Mercury. These are planets that are usually moving regularly, except when they are in retrograde, but they're fast moving, as opposed to planets like, you know, Saturn has a 28 to 30 years, something like that, transit. But then you take a planet like Mars having a 2-year transit. So I'm just trying to break some things down for y'all, because it's very important these next 5 months. We're about to embark on an area in the history, not just of this country, but pretty much almost like mankind on this planet. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but when I talk about things like crises, wars, things of this nature, This is just real shit. This is like the planets, when the planets align themselves. You know how we like to say things like um, history repeats itself. That is so true. And a lot of times it has a lot to do with planetary alignment. You'll be surprised how many world leaders, they have their personal psychics. You'll be surprised of people like the Pope. You'll be surprised of your religious leaders that are all relying on astrology and psychics. That's just the facts, folks. They may tell y'all it's evil. They may not want y'all to know about certain things, but they on top of shit. And that's why I believe that they moved the date from July the 11th until I think next month or September, some shit, whatever they're going to be doing when it comes to the sentencing of the former president Donald Trump. I'm not a Trumpster. I'm not a Bidener. I don't vote for no goddamn body. Right? I'm not into the Roman, Greek, European system. And I'm not saying that from a negative or racist standpoint. It's just that everybody, every nation, everybody has, we are all trapped in cycles. Okay. So we all have cycles. Nations have cycles. Leaders have cycles. Everybody. You have cycles. Everybody has cycles. There's this one particular thing that, if nothing else, for the next 2 years, because I think around the end, the beginning of the year next year, early next year, probably spring, is when you have Mars and Pluto. I'm sorry, Mars and Saturn, where they kind of like meet up, so to speak. So this is going to be so much. We could be in the midst of wars way worse. I'm talking about even on the homeland. And then when you think about the United States, 1776, if you go back and you look at the astrological transit of this nation, it's about to flip. What I mean is about to flip. That's why you have all these uprisings and nobody wants Trump. You got a large portion of the people who don't want Trump and a large portion of the people who don't want Biden. So what happens? Clash of the Titans. We're getting ready to see some shit and experience some shit. Now that's on that level. But the inner healing and facing fears would be a challenge for many people. And some people are going to return to or turn to some form of escapism. Because, for example, if I'm not mistaken, who was that? Come on, mind. Help me out, mind. Help me out, mind. Help me out, mind. Neptune. So let's say, for example, Neptune. So on July the 2nd, Neptune became stationary. Anytime a planet, especially these here far outer planets, anytime a planet is stationary, that means the energy of that planet is heightened. So we know that from quote unquote a tarot standpoint, you have this here energy of, say, quote unquote, the high priestess, right? As well as the moon. So a lot of hidden shit, a lot of hidden things are going to be coming to the surface. When I talk about delusions, You're talking about people in general that behind the scenes, this is a time, folks, you got about 5 months, 5 representing change in tarot. You have about 5 months as an individual to kind of like whatever it is you need to work on about you, not what you can say, somebody did this to me, somebody did that to me. Whatever you can work on pertaining to you, these next 5 months is going to be crucial. Preparing oneself is just as important as preparing for events that will affect oneself. Again, preparing oneself is just as important as preparing for events that will affect oneself. So the events that's about to have effect on us individually as humans, right? These events you're not going to have control over. That's the external. You don't have control over external events. What you do have control over is internal events. That's where that inner shadow side comes in. That's where that inner healing comes in. And the more we begin to prepare ourselves internally, then we have a greater chance of dealing with the external energies that's going to have an effect on us from a physical standpoint. But that internal, you work on things. In other words, escapism. People are not going to be able to deal with a lot of the shit that's getting ready to that we're getting ready to experience. Let me just say it like that in general. So what do? We turn to some form of escapism. It can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be gambling, it can be sex, it can be eating, it can be anything that can turn into some form of escapism. Because when you're living in a delusion and you're delusional, that simply put, you're living a not so much a lie, but you're living in a false pretense of your true authentic self. And anytime we're living like this here, that means that we're delusional. All right. Nevertheless, by Neptune going stationary and Jupiter move into the 3rd house of Gemini last month. Now you have planets like on the 26th, Chiron goes. This is a very important month. Remember, I was sharing with y'all throughout some of the videos. This is like the setup, the precursor, the stage being set. And when these here outer planets, I mean, you're talking about these major planets, they're barely moving. And when a planet is in stationary or right before it goes retro, that planet is heightened because it's like it's just sitting there and all of that energy is just building, 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 building. Then boom, it's released and then it starts back moving, say in its retro status. So like say for instance, like around towards the end of this month, July the 26th, then we'll have Chiron moving 23 degrees of Aries, the first house. I want y'all to pay attention to some things now, because it's about to get real rugged. These next 5 months is the setup. And a lot of people are not prepared for what's about to happen. And when you got Saturn, which rules governments, institutions, laws, authority, careers, you got a setup coming, folks. By the time Mars and Saturn, the beginning of next year, 2023, just remember now, Pluto, Mars has a transit of 2 years. Pluto has a transit of 20 to 25 years. Got me? All right. Mars, that's all about war, rebellion, destruction, fight. That's why you hear some people saying that 2024, 2025, 2026, the next 2 years are going to be crucial. We could be looking at a election, if you will, this year that could just easily spark off civil unrest, revolutions, states want to come out of, quote unquote, the federal union, if you will, want to break away. The state that I'm in right now, Texas, has applied, and so many other states have applied for many years to have its independence, to be independent of the 50 states. That's about to change. There's going to be laws that's going to allow this, because some people, from a federal government standpoint, you got to look at the history of America and how it was founded. Let's say let's say Saturn is the ruling planet for planet Earth. It's all about lessons, folks. So America is about to have this huge karmic shift. It's long overdue. And the last time Pluto, quote, was in where we are now, the 11th house, you're talking about this was a new country. So now it's got to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm telling you, it's really, I'm not trying to be this doomdayers, but I'm damn sure trying to be an alarmist. I'm not no astrologer. I just overstand energy, and I do have a basic understanding of astrological events or planetary alignments. I'm not saying, again, that I am an astrologer. That's just like you don't have to be a chef, but you know how to cook. You know how to make a meal. You know how to bake some things. You know how to feed yourself and your family. You just ain't a chef. That degree does not make you a chef. Only in America. That degree didn't teach you how to cook. The same with these planets. I don't have to go to some university. I don't have to go to NIT or anywhere like that to look above my head and to just know where planets are. I can go outside any given day, any given night, and look up in the sky. And as long as I know where the sun, the moon, and my ascending, I can follow the whole skyline. You can do the same thing. Your mid-heaven, your descending, if you just know how those basic things work, then you would know almost from your chart standpoint. You get familiar with the other planets outside, the other houses, because all of the houses are connected. You call it a clock. Inner healing, folks, shadow side, shadow work is going to be crucial these next 5 months. And those of us that are prepared will be able to deal with some of these here external forces, energies, and effect. There will be food shortages. There will be water shortages and water disruptions. There will be major natural disasters. There will be astrological, terrestrial, celestial sightings, more and more and more. We will see celestial beings, terrestrial beings, celestial bodies with your natural eye. And like I tell people, keep your eyes on the sky, because some of these things are just going to shock the shit out of a lot of people. But the more you work on your inner healing and facing fears, when you do see things, when we do experience things, when shit happens, when events happen, your escapism can be meditation. Your escapism can just be preparing yourself. But people who refuse to do the shadow work, to work on themselves, their escapism is going to be things like drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, eating, running from our problems. We're in this energy now, folks, that we can't blame. Ivory cannot blame nobody for nothing that happens in my life. I can't be worried about who is against me, hidden enemies, because you can, once you do these inner healings, folks, and you work on yourself, you're going to feel these energies, these external forces that comes against you or that's going to affect you in some form or way. You're going to feel it before you see it. You're going to feel the people before you see the people. And you're going to know who your enemies are. That way you'll know how to either deal with it or you can go around it. But the more you face your fears, the more you face your enemies. Thanks for that bucket support, whoever it was. The more you face your fears, the more you face your enemies and you deal with shit, you work on yourself, work on your addictions, things that have control and dominance over you. The more you work on that, I'm telling you, I promise you, as we progress towards the end of this year, and I said the next 5 months for a reason, because a lot of people is putting a lot of emphasis on this coming election, and rightfully so. This could be probably, and it won't be organized. I promise you that. It's not going to be smooth. But this could be one of the most disruptive elections in American history because there's so much hidden shit, it's so much dark shit, and the planets and the energy and the alignment and history repeating itself, it's not going to allow. The forces, the powers that be, if you will, is not going to allow this bullshit to keep going on. It's what I'm really saying. We're not going to be able to get around it. America is not exempt from karma. America is not exempt from a bomb falling on its land. America is not exempt from falling like the British Empire, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Egyptian dynasties. America is not exempt. And when you put focus and attention on how this nation, I can't stress this enough, how this nation started, it's a setup. And what I mean by setup is karma will be carried out. It's almost like that story they sell y'all about Moses and Pharaoh. Let my people go, right? Well, it got to a point in that story, and it's a story, but it got to a point in that story to whereas eventually Pharaoh just said, all right, get your people, get whatever you want, whatever you need, and get the hell out of my land. Basically, in so many words, karma. America is going to get to the point that it has so much karmic debt on how it has done people in general, even the natives of this land, to where you cannot escape it. And we're headed for a whole new restart. To the point to whereas if this nation is going to continue as what we call a nation, America gonna have to give an account, quote unquote, of its sins. It's karma. It's karmic debt. After this election, leading up to this election, things are going to be coming to the surface. It's going to keep coming to the surface. Case in point, you had this debate on June 27th. It was all written in, quote unquote, the stars and the cosmos. And for 3.5 years, now watch this. I'm not a politician. I don't vote for no damn body. I don't vote for nothing that oppresses people. But for the past 3.5 years, they've been hiding the fact that Biden is not even healthy enough to be president. But they felt like their plan was for him to run one term and then move somebody else in there. because we have a shadow government. If you want to be delusional, Neptune, and right now Neptune is stationary until tomorrow. Listen, if you want to be delusional and pretend like something's wrong with your eyes, you think that this man is physically and cognitive, neurologically fit to run America, you're delusional. This man has the codes to nukes. So now that the world see, that means that with the help of Pluto and Neptune, now people see. They see what they was hiding. You know damn well Obama, them Clintons, and probably the Bush family, along with your cabal, along with the 13 families, if you will, that rules this planet. And that also includes the Vatican. But in this country, Biden is not calling the shots, folks. So now, we're stuck, in a sense, between a rock and a hard spot. And something has to give. And what's going to end up giving is the truth. That's what's going to come to the surface. Reality. All this delusional energy, all of this energy of people behind the scenes doing shit, whether it's personally against you, your government, religious leaders, institutions, all of this shit, it's about to come. It's like a domino effect. It's like if I tell on somebody, if I expose somebody of something, then now that person is going to be like, well, look, I'm going to tell something on you, Ivory. And then not only that, if that person is in legal trouble, they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to go and spend the rest of my life behind prison bars. So they're going to snitch on, then you're going to get more people. Then that group going to snitch. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to whereas we're getting ready to find out some things about your country, about your leaders in this country, and about other people that y'all look up to, you support, you vote for, whether it's entertainers, religious leaders, athletes, whatever. You're getting ready to find out a lot of shit. And then on a personal level, you're going to find out some shit about your family. There's going to be people finding out for the first time who their mother is in this transit. Between now and the next 2 years, more and more people are going to find out things about their families. More and more people are going to find out who their real daddy is. Shit like this. More and more people are going to find out that they lied and covered up the story pertaining to slavery. They lied and covered up the story pertaining to religious gods. All of this shit's getting ready to come to the surface. I call it the forced awakening. I started teaching on this back in 2001. Thanks for the bucket gifts. I started working on it, teaching on this back in 2001, 2 years after I left the pulpit. And ever since then, I've been under attack. There's been people, excuse me, there's been people that have crossed paths in my life that I knew were lessons and not blessings. But because I knew who they were, and I was able to tell them who they are and what you meant to me at this point in time, and my purpose, my destiny, if you will. They had no other choice but to leave. It didn't matter who it was. Because once you start doing the inner work, the inner healing, you'll be surprised of how much. And with this Neptune High Priestess energy, you're going to find out a lot about yourself as you heal. And you're going to find that a lot of things and people that you put trust in and you thought was in your corner, you was under some kind of delusion because you thought that these was good people. And then eventually you'll find out as you heal and as you face your fears. But for the next 5 months, starting this month, it's like a domino effect. Okay. Let me give you a little small, just a little quick little snippet of a timeline. Okay. First, see, the founders, quote unquote, they say founders, but they ain't found shit. You can't find something that's already there. Ain't nobody found this country. They didn't find America. They was just freaking explorers and shit, just curious people trying to get out of Europe, if you will, because of the disease and all other kind of shit that was going on during that century, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so then nobody found nothing. But now listen at this here, though. The majority of those men, not only they was racist and slave owners and rapists and murderers, but they were also Masons. Listen to me good. So astrology is something that they go by. So if you look at the disruption in this country with two individuals, the distractions and destruction with two individuals, and that is Biden and Trump. Prior to them was Obama. Prior to him was Bush. Prior to him was Clinton. Just go back these last five. These last five presidents has invoked more change for the negative than all of the other 42, 41 presidents. This current situation, these dates, when Trump was indicted and when the debate took place, the whole world see who's running the leader of, quote unquote, the free world. They see his condition now. You can't hide that shit. No more magic, no more illusions, no more being delusional. You want to be cognitive dissonant, meaning that you see reality in front of you, said, no, that can't be real. Stay right there. You ain't gonna make it long. Then after June 27th, that debate, right after that, then the Supreme Courts give this man a minute. You give presidents, not Trump, Biden too, immunity. These dates mean something from a Masonic standpoint. They're not just picking these dates randomly. July 11th, they had to change that date because they know if they sentence him on July 11th now with this presidential immunity, then it's just going to make him more popular. And the powers that's in control right now, they don't want that shit to happen. Now let's go a little further. You got conventions coming up this month and next month. After that, they call it the home stretch. September, October, November. October is going to be pivotal. You're going to see more support for Trump. Even though he's got, 32, 34, indicted on 32, 34 damn charges, but he keeps getting more popular. It's because if you know astrology, and if you was to look at his transit, he's having once in a lifetime events surrounding Mars, Uranus, and Jupiter. Because right now, if I'm not mistaken, he's a Gemini. So Jupiter is ruling his home house or his sun house of Gemini. Listen to me good, folks. That's expansion, growth, and luck. This man continues to be lucky. It's in the stars, along with the powers that be down here that picks your president before you ever vote. Destruction always precede calm. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. And these next 5 months is the setup. 2025, 2026. If you're still around, and I know the majority of us will be here, but if you're still around, get ready for shock and awe after shock and awe. Get ready to find out things about hidden shit, dark shit, people personally in your life, enemies that are hidden, people personally in your energy that's been sending you negative energy. All of this. And it ain't going to be nothing they can do about it. That's on the personal level. Some of y'all, you have this Jupiter transit. If you got any planet in your chart at 29 degrees, this week and this summer, since July the 2nd, this week and this summer, especially throughout the month of July, you need to pay attention to those planets in your chart and how they correlate with the current transit. Now, you ain't got to believe me. Do what you want to do. However, the stage is being set for something major. global to take place. I'm so blessed to have so much peace in my home that I can focus. I can always keep myself under a telescope, if you will, where I'm watching myself, because we're headed for a global shift. And the people here, the people who are preparing themselves for this hit shift are the people who are going to be, who's going to fare better after the shift. The challenges for so many people are getting ready to be great and huge. I don't want to sound like I'm just talking out the side of my neck, because I'm not. It took me a while. It took me years. It took me lifetimes to get to this particular point in my human experience. Sometimes I'm a little bit on the light side. Laughter, um, make you smile, make you laugh. But at the same time, who I am and knowing who I am, I'm just a voice and a messenger. I had to, just like some of y'all, we had to go through the shit that we've been through in this human experience in order for us to be a collective group of beings, of people, that the universe or spirit or source can entrust with sharing with people globally, because of social media, events and things to come. Because you can't have no fear. And I knew when I first got on social media, the beginning of 2016, I knew I was going to be targeted. I knew what I had to say and what I had to share, and come out of the gate swinging and telling people about certain things and events that I've been knowing about for years. But because I was not interested in no damn social media, I didn't say shit. And there's others like me. People who have certain gifts, they don't like fame, fortune, clout chasing, limelight. No. You prefer to be behind the scenes. You prefer to do your thing, and that's it. You prefer to say what is given to you to say, and that's it. Whether somebody like, share, comment, that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to let people know, continue to work on your inner healing. There's things about all of us that needs to be dealt with. That's the human experience. There's always something to work on. There's always something that we can put in check. There's always something that we can bring under control pertaining to ourselves. There's always something that could easily be borderline controlling or addictive, or things that we hide, secrets. There's no fucking thing as a secret. Never has been, never will be. Hidden things can only stay hidden for so long, because the universe, just like down here we have seasons, the universe has seasons. So when the universe goes through its cleanse, it's cleansing all the damn planets at one time. So if I had something hidden, if I had that dice hidden in that cup and you can't see what's inside of that cup, it's hidden. But at some point in time, the universe is going to cleanse. And now you're going to be able to see exactly what I was hiding. If what I was hiding is on the positive side, then the universe is just going to cleanse it and keep on going. But if it's negative, the universe going to cleanse that shit right on out of the way. That's what's happening now globally. From an individual level all the way up. You cannot be in these dark groups, these societies, these sects, these cliques, the good old boy to get along game. You can't be in all these. If you listen, Masons, Boulets, congressmen, senators, politicians, attorneys, doctors, all the way down to just regular old damn people. You're not going to be able to get away with the same shit you've been getting away with going forward. By 2026, you will know everybody who has come up against you, all the way up to your federal government, all the way up to your religious leaders, all the secrets, everything that's hidden, and you will be seeing unrest, civil wars, revolutions, outbreaks. You're going to see this here shit. People no longer trusted in their governments and institutions, and shit's going to fall. That's what you need to be preparing yourself for. If you don't think you're going to be here between now and 2030, I ain't talking to you. But if you feel like you will physically be here between now and 2030, you got 5 months to start getting your inner self in order. 5 months. We count down. Next month be 4 months. Before you know it, and I'm not talking about because of election. This is going to be the most flawed, the most scandalous, the most dark, the most craziest election you ever going to see in this country. To the point to where it's people, I wouldn't be surprised if you have people leading up to the election that's going to be like, you know what, man, fuck that. I'm not even voting this year. Because why? So much dark shit and crooked shit is about to come out. You're going to start seeing people for who they are. That's on the political scale. On a personal level, you're getting ready to see. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a tarot astrology update this week. I used to do them. I still do it for myself, but I'm not an astrologist. But I can tell you some things about planetary alignment that if you went and kind of did a little small research and had your own transit as a human, your own chart, then as the outer chart, the current, the transit, along with the inner, your personal chart, you'll be able to put some things together in some key points in your life that you need to pay attention to. And whatever necessary adjustments or changes that needs to be made based on these alignments, then you'll have at least a little foresight to know pretty much what you can expect in your own life within the next 2 to 6 years. The 7th year from last month, these are going to be crucial, folks. And you ain't got to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. Just do your own research. But the best way you can start anything off is start researching yourself. Start working on you from the inside. And shit that you know is not good. Face those fears. Work on those things. And remember, there are no secrets. That's why people have to do the inner healing and the shadow side. There are no secrets. But work on those things. We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace and blessings.